I drink 2 liters of water a day on average, or maybe more, but I do not add any electrolytes. I think I need to do that because, to your point, that doesn't mean that's actually getting into your cell. And you need those electrolytes to be able to, for that to enter your cells. But that's good information. Before I move to protein, what is your top 3 advice how to stay hydrated?
When it comes to protein, you said?
No, for hydrations. Top 3 advice for our viewers out there to stay hydrated.
Yeah,
how do you keep track that you've had enough?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really important to incorporate a hydration product in your everyday activities for sure. In some cases, you know, again, that's been part of our BioSteel success. We've been around for 10 years out of Canada, out of Toronto actually is where we were founded, and we've spread across the country, internationally, around the world as well too. Part of our success is working with pro athletes and pro teams. So we're the official sports drink of the Toronto Raptors. We're the official hydration partner of the National Hockey League, official hydration drink of the Blue Jays. So we've got basically our a lot of recognition through that. What that means though, and I say the only reason I bring that up is because a lot of people think, I got to play sports to drink BioSteel or to have an electrolyte product. The reality is you don't have to sweat to be dehydrated. You don't have to be thirsty to be dehydrated either. You have to consider it as something that you need every day. In fact, we sell to over 20,000 retail locations across Canada, and I can tell you, the hydration has become like the new multivitamin of the industry. It's almost like a daily essential. It's definitely something that you need in your foundational products if you're looking for some more help on the supplement side for sure, or on the clean side to help you, with your optimal health and prevention and performance as well too. So top 3 things: you don't have to be thirsty to be dehydrated. You don't have to be working out to enjoy and get the benefits from an electrolyte drink. And then the last thing, sometimes water is not enough, and it's really, really important. A lot of people say, well, Mark, water is very clean and it's got sugar and it's natural. It's true, and it does have naturally occurring minerals as well too. But you can buy mineralized water, for example. But for a lot of people, if you're not getting your right diet, and I'm not talking about, and I say this as I just enjoyed a very salty lunch with a friend of mine earlier today. Having the sodium that you have in foods or those minerals, that's not the same thing as what's getting absorbed. You need the high quality electrolytes. You need the 5 essential electrolytes, right? And if you can have those 5 essential electrolytes in an easy to drink beverage that tastes great, it's all natural without the sugar, you're on your way to optimal health for sure. Yeah.
So I didn't bring it here, and it's in my kitchen. I have this big jug. It's a 2-gallon jug, and I fill it up in the morning. I guess from now on, I'm going to be adding 1 of those or 2 of those electrolytes, and I just drink it throughout the day. And I think that's a good way of keeping track how much you consume instead of filling cups of water and then go, how many did I have today? I'm not even sure. Just get 1 of those. You can find it at any store, big gallon, and then fill it up in the morning and then consume it throughout the day of your choice of electrolytes. So Mark, I want to move on to protein, the importance of consuming protein, and how much do we need as an individual? Is there a math that we need to do?
Yeah, it's protein is a very dynamic subject of discussion as well too. As there's a lot. I mean, you could Google it on the internet, and you'll find like 15 different philosophies on how much protein you should take. There's a couple of rules of thumb. One of them is basically 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram, or per body weight rather, per pounds, or kilograms as well too. So you'll find different things. The reality is it all depends how old you are, what your diet's like, and how active you are. Now, for myself, being in my late 40s, I know one thing's for sure, that when I hit mid 30s, early 40s, men and women start losing muscle mass, right? And when we talk about muscle mass, we're not talking about the big bodybuilders in terms of how they're kind of like losing muscle mass. Humans in general will lose muscle mass as we age. It's just the way it is. In fact, a great example is that when you go into your local pharmacy, right, and you'll see those big displays of some of those meal replacement protein drinks, right, that you see TV commercials on. They're basically protein drinks because as people age, they start losing muscle mass, and that condition is called sarcopenia. And what happens with that is, if you have less muscle mass, you have less energy. You're more frail, right? You have a decreased posture position. So there's a lot of things that happen as we age. So as we get older, Nadirah, we need to have more protein in our diet. The general math, if you're active, if you're in the gym, if you're exercising, whether you're doing, cardio, whether you're doing anaerobic activity, whether you're doing strength training, you're going to get a lot more protein to help your muscles recover and help your muscles grow. Again, when we say grow, we don't necessarily mean we want to, compete in a bodybuilding competition. It's just to help muscles. It's basically act as food for the muscles, right? And that's where I think as a society, if you think about it, getting about, for the average 200-pound male, getting about 150 grams of protein a day is very difficult in all your meals. I mean, that's a lot of food you have to intake, especially if you're in your 40s and 50s, where you lose, 2% of muscle mass as annually as time goes by. You need to really incorporate that into your diet. So protein supplements, they called in the year 2020, they said the next 10 years will be the decade of protein, because more and more people, especially in North America, are going to become more aware of how protein deficient we are as a society. And while it's great to have, and that's why you have a lot of diets too. You have the carnivore diet, people who just swear by eating, red meat. Then of course you have the vegan and vegetarian diet, who kind of just use legumes or other forms of plant proteins as well. Then you have the flexitarians, where they're kind of, maybe they're staying away from red meat, but they're eating chicken and fish. So that protein itself we've become obsessed with how much we need. And the reality is that it's important because we are deficient. And that's going to affect us as we hit in our golden years moving forward.